Good evening, or good morning, or good night, or good day, or whatever time it is where you are. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for watching the seal visit on this special Sunday live. So I want to thank everybody for being here. And well, we have different topics to just kind of talk about. I hope everyone can share in the chat. So many things that have been going on, and of course, this has been being discussed at length during the past week since the update number 5 came out. And of course, with that, gave us lots to talk about and really analyze. And of course, it leads to kind of speculation about what things may be coming up in the future. So you can sound off down in the comment section. Okay, before I get any further, I'm just going to play our habitual beginning to the CO visit, so stick around. Let me see, is it going to let me do this or not? Okay, I guess it's not going to let me do that. Let me see here, let me try this. Can I fool it? Nope. All right, well, I guess now that doesn't work anymore, so that's all right. We'll just keep going then. Well, I want to, again, thank everybody for being here. And I'm going to be leaving the link to the live stream so that those of you who are connected right now and watching, you will be able to join, because this is a live rant. Okay, this is your space as well to be able to come on briefly for a few minutes and basically give your point of view of everything that's going on, give your thoughts. And also on yesterday, I wasn't able to join the live stream over with KC and Anthony. I did watch it later on, though, in the replay. And that was also very, very timely and interesting topic about whether or not ex-Jehovah's Witnesses can be brainwashed. Again, very interesting one. Very interesting topic. And I do think that in some cases that can happen, but we can talk about all of these topics and you can sound off. So I'm going to put here in the, put this in here in the comment section. Okay, there is the link. Hello, Jackie. Welcome. Thanks for being here. Appreciate it. Yeah, absolutely, they can. So we'll get to that one in a second. So or whatever you guys want to talk about. It's all up to you. So as I said, the link is there. I'll also share this on the screen. I don't think I can't pin it. So, but there is the link so that you can come in and join us as well. Anybody that wants to join in. So just a couple of things about joining so that we don't have any issues. Sometimes people have some difficulties when they join a live stream. So on StreamYard, if you click on that link, or if you copy the link and then put it in your browser and come in here, one of the first things that's going to ask you is to write the name that you want that shows up on the screen. That's one thing. And then also it's going to ask you permission. If it's the first time, it's going to ask you permission to access camera and your microphone. So at the very least, to your microphone, you need to say yes. If you don't want to show your face, you just want to have the audio, then you can just say no to the camera. Or when you come in and you're waiting for me to add you to the live stream, you can shut your camera off. Okay, so you can do that either way. So you can say yes to them both and then shut your camera off, but make sure you say yes when it asks you for permission for your microphone. Okay, otherwise sometimes people come in and we can't hear them because they came in the beginning and couldn't know right away on both the microphone and the camera. And then once you do that, you kind of can't go back. You have to leave and then come back again and redo it. So anyway, appreciate everybody being here. So as I'm saying, welcome everybody that's here with this CO Visit live stream. This is for you. The link is right here. Okay, if you want to join in and give your point of view on any of the topics that we've been talking about this past week, with the update number 5, with the okay to additional education, or with the topic of Jehovah's Witnesses being brainwashed again. Is that possible? And of course, I want to mention to everybody that want your comment to be highlighted, get a better chance at seeing the comment and mentioning it. There are the super chats there. That's a small donation, and that highlights your comment. All those things are available. So I guess I'll start out with just talking about, since I think in my personal case, of course, if you come on the live stream, you can talk about any topic that you want to, anything that you want to rant about or give your 2 cents about, that's fine. I've been talking at length recently about the update number 5 and the education, and I was on JT and Lady C's live stream as well that week, the past weekend. So I haven't gotten to talk about the other topic that KC and Anthony brought up, which I thought was very, very, very interesting, about whether or not witnesses, ex-witnesses, can become brainwashed once again. And so in that case, I would have to agree with Jackie said there in the comments that absolutely they can. I think if a person is not extremely careful, and depending on what stage of their, I guess you could say, waking up that they're in, we are extremely vulnerable to falling into another group. How can I say this? If we're at a stage where, if you're recently coming out of the witnesses and there's lots of, you're discovering new things, and there may be lots of emotions, lots of hurt, lots of anger, and then we're disconnected all of a sudden from that whole life that we had. We're disconnected from that reality, that social group that we had, and all of a sudden you're just in the air. Now you go through that phase of not knowing what to do or where to go. What should I believe? And that moment of vulnerability is where it's very dangerous, because there will be lots of people now wanting to jump in and fill in that, oh, the ex-witness now, this person's an ex-witness. Oh, we got to, and they want you to come to a church. They want you to do this, want you to do that. Some will want you to become atheist. Some want you to come to Christ. Some want you to do this, do that. Okay? And so it's very easy for an ex-Jehovah's Witness to go from one extreme to another. And you're absolutely right, Jackie. You see too many succumbing to it. Absolutely. I do too. I've seen channels out there, okay, even though I'm not going to judge anybody. I'm not, each person to each his or her own, right? Even though I still profess, believing in Jesus, I'm not, I don't belong to any church. I'm not going to any church, and I never will. That's very clear in my head. And my mind is always on the lookout, right? I'm always searching. I'm always studying and questioning things. And so there's nothing written in stone. Even with my own beliefs right now, nothing is written in stone. Okay, I believe what I believe, but that can change at any moment, because that's just the way life is. As we learn more and more and discover things. I have seen ex-JW channels out there of people who now converted to Christ. They became Christians. They've accepted Christ, and now they're like on this crusade where now you must believe this way because this is the truth, right? And they must convince everybody, and basically, like I said, like Joan of Arc, going on this crusade where you are going to accept Christ or I'm going to die trying. Which in itself is just like if you're a witness, if you're any other religion, it's futile. It's especially in these times we're living in today, people pretty much have their minds made up. The Gospels are not unknown to most people on earth, really. And people kind of know the gist of it as far as Christianity goes. And people pretty much have their minds made up. They're either going to do it or they won't. And you're really not going to convince anybody. Same way with when we were witnesses going door to door. You're not really going to convince anybody. People make their own decisions themselves if they want to join something or not. But I see that really what I believe is an error of ex-witnesses now crusading for Christianity, or maybe it's atheism. They're just totally non-believers now. And whatever it is that person is now trying to push on everybody else. So I think that's something that I think it's something to observe, depending on where you are in your personal journey. It's a good thing sometimes just to kind of sit back and not really opine on anything, but just take it in. It's okay to watch everything, and I am a believer in that. I think it's a positive thing to go out there, watch everything that you can, watch all the different channels, listen to the atheist side, listen to believer side, listen to all these other belief systems, and just kind of absorb it, take it in, and see what is adding up and see what isn't. But when it comes right down to it, hey Jay, how are you doing? Welcome. What are we? I'm gonna put your comment up here, and I'll get back to the other one. What are we ranting about tonight? Whatever you want to. We're ranting about everything and anything. I'm just putting up here. I just want to let everybody know, as I said before, if you're just joining, that I'm going to put okay, I got someone in here. I think it's Jackie that wants to join. So let me just get this up. Oh yeah, there it is. Here's the, hold on a second here. Okay, here's the link to the live stream. And the idea is tonight is that this is an open forum so that you can also come in and give your point of view on whatever it is that you want to talk about. Okay, about update number 5, about anything, okay, regarding the witnesses. So we're going to go in here and let me see here. Let me see. Okay, work. So let me try to find here. No, that's fine. Okay, Jackie, for some reason, how do I get the mic in? Okay, you might have to go out and then go back in again. So it should ask you if you want, if it's going to ask for permission for your mic and or you should see the icons when you come in. Yeah, because I wasn't, it's not even giving me the option to add you, so I don't know what's going on there. It says edit name, kick from studio, ban from studio. Okay, I don't want to do that. So once you go out, just go out and then come back in. No, hello Jeff, how are you doing? Happy thoughts, hello, welcome. So as I said, the for anybody that's out there, the link is on the page, so you can come in and just come in briefly and give your thoughts on whatever is interesting you or troubling you, or anything like that. Okay, come on in and join us and give your thoughts on whether witnesses can be brainwashed again, or the changes that Watchtower is making to its procedures and beliefs, how that has affected you, or if it has at all, or what things you might think are coming up in the future. What things do you think that they will change coming up here? So all of those things are out here on the table, and anything else. Okay, they're not limited to that. So really, the sky is the limit. So you can mention and talk about whatever you want. So you are welcome to come in. So yeah, this StreamYard app, it's one of those things where it's kind of tricky, but once you come in once, then you can pretty much get the hang of it. So I just want to welcome everybody. Show Jeff here. Jeff, welcome. Appreciate you being here. And so as we were talking about the other day with the live stream that Casey and Anthony had, you need to turn your mic on before you can go. Right, exactly, Jay. That's the thing. Yep. So you need to turn on your mic before you can go on the stage. You should see those icons at the bottom of your screen, or it will ask you for permission. So that's what you need to do. Okay. So thank you, Jay, for mentioning that. I appreciate it. So as I was saying, I didn't get to see the live stream of Casey and Anthony on Saturday, but I did rewatch it on the replay, and so that was a very interesting topic that was on there. So as I was mentioning, it's just a matter of as you come out of the witnesses and you're kind of getting your footing again and learning about all the multi fallacies and lies of the Watchtower organization, and you have to get really a footing on who you are and find who you are and start to look at really what your value system is. What is your value? What are your values? And what are the, if you're going to still believe in something, still be a believer, whether that be in God or more of a spiritual type system. It's really good to, like I said, to go out there and just search and study and listen to different points of view before really forming an opinion or settling with a certain religion or belief system. It's just to listen to things, because as you listen to things, you're going to react. As you listen to something, either it's going to resonate with you, you'll hear things that you go, oh yeah, wow, that makes sense, or that's kind of how I feel. Or you're going to say that nah, this is definitely not. This is not what I'm feeling. So it's going to help you kind of weed out, and start honing down really your search to find out who you are. Okay, because otherwise, like I said, if we're in that vulnerable stage and then we jump on the first person that comes along because we're looking for, more than anything else, a social connection, that's where you're going to make a mistake. Right out of the gate, that's going to be a mistake. And that's, unfortunately, I'm going to tell you, I believe this. We have to learn to be a little bit more loners, a little bit more independent, separated, and not be so reliant on having friends and social connections and things like that, because that's what will make us fall into another trap. That's what will lead us to getting brainwashed again. And basically that can happen in any kind of group. When you look at any type of faith structure, any type of religion in general, really at the end of the day, in one form or another, they're all cults in some way or another. Okay? And what you're going to find is, once you've left the witnesses and you look at these other organizations, you look at other churches, what you're going to find out is that at the end of the day, it's all basically the same thing. You're going to sit there and you're going to be in a church one day and you're just going to have this realization that you're like, wait a minute, this is the kingdom hall all over again. Because every church has its little rules, they have their little procedures, they have their customs, they have things that are not necessarily in the Bible, but they're rules and customs that they've had for many, 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 sometimes centuries, and it's just the way it is, right? And then you're gonna have your little cliques and your little groups and all these things. Okay, and that's why in my personal case, I went through that. I went to many different churches as far as Christianity is concerned, and in the end, I settled on believing in Christ, trying to live my life the best way, helping other people, you know, not judging anybody, loving my neighbor. No church, no churches, no organized religion. That's out of my life. So that's me, though. So you have to come to your own conclusions about things. Some people go towards a more spiritualistic type, you know, belief systems, and instead of believing in a God in particular, just believing in spirituality. Some are drawn towards kind of the Native American type belief systems, or Buddhism, or things like that. Enlightenment and freeing yourself, whatever it is. So it all depends. So as I mentioned before, guys, there's the link. Okay, if you want to come in, join, give your views on things, talk about what's important to you. Let us know where you at in your waking up. Where are you at in your understanding of life and your beliefs? Where are you at right now? Yeah, happy thoughts. Totally agree about all man-made religions. Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And that's something where, as a part of studying, I think some of that we did to a certain extent as witnesses, but you can look into it more. And when you look at from the very beginning, thousands of years ago, with the very beginnings of the Catholic Church, and then okay, so let's see if we can do this again. All right. So I've
Am
got
I on?
you're on.
Oh my gosh, figuring that out was just torture.
Yeah, I know. That's well. Now you did it, so the worst is behind you. So Jax, how are you doing?
Hey, I'm doing okay. Yeah, just enduring this heat.
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah. Well, it's great to the first time ever to actually hear your voice. That's awesome.
Yeah,
So
it's
I'm
a good
very.
thing. Yeah,
You guys
another
have
thing.
only heard me, but I haven't heard a lot of you. So that's a nice thing. And so tell us what's your what do you want to talk about this evening? You can. It's all yours.
Let's see, what kind of food? No, no. One thing I just wanted to say was that I would wish that more of the X community would get along. And now there's a lot of people that I don't care for and I don't like and I think are crazy. But that doesn't mean that I'm gonna hate them or
Yeah.
do a back and forth with them. And I just don't watch their channel. It's just really simple.
Yeah. Yeah. I
But
gotcha.
yeah, I just wish more would either get along and agree to disagree on any subject because no one's going to agree on everything, right? And that's no big deal. It's actually no big deal. But I just
Yeah.
wish that more would get along so that anybody new coming out watching would be like, yeah, I mean, I was out for years and I didn't wake up to the organization anyway, till I don't know, maybe 5 years ago. So,
Sure.
and the channel, you were one of the first channels I saw, and it was wonderful. You and Stacy and some others that I now am not subscribed to. Um, but I just wish that those watching that are trying to come out would be like, oh yeah, man, there's my support. Yeah, this is kick ass. Let's do it. Yeah, I can
Yeah.
do this. They did it. I can do it. Instead of just the back and forth and just the Lloyd Evans effect.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you this, Jackie, and I think that's a very, very interesting and very valid thought that you're saying, and I think we've all observed that. What do you think is the main problem behind that about people not getting along? What do you think is causing it?
I think egos. Ego.
You read my
People
mind.
trying to always be right instead of saying, you know what? I feel I'm right. You're right, but hey, that's okay. I
Yeah,
believe what I believe. You believe what you believe. Some people, when they come out, they try too hard. They try too hard to prove something like, oh my God, I'm out now, so I'm gonna celebrate holidays and I'm gonna vote for the government. It's just like, man, it's just such a coming out of the organization is a minor step to what being awake is. That's the first
yes,
step, and it's a good step. But there's so much more to it. It's so much deeper, and it's so much more sinister. Some people can handle it, some people can't. Some want to hear it, some don't, and that's cool. But to bicker back and forth and call name calling, and I see a lot of male versus female, and I don't like that because we all think differently.
sure.
But I just really, I like a lot of people, but I see a lot of bickering, and I don't take sides. I'm not going to
Yeah,
take sides. I'm not going to play that game.
sure.
People want to do their
Absolutely.
thing and argue. Do it on the side, but don't do it for when it's so public and new witnesses are coming out, and they need the support. They need that support. They don't need to see that it's the same as when they were in. You know what I mean?
Right.
'Cause I hope that makes sense. I don't know. I'm kind of rambling.
Yes. Yes, it does. Yeah, and I do think that. Yeah, and that was the first thing that came to my mind, and you said it was egos, and all of us had, to a certain extent, an ego as witnesses,
Right.
and then coming out of that, that doesn't just disappear. And
Right. Exactly.
some have that more than others, but yeah, there's definitely, I think kind of some of the basically the main things that divide people are, I mean, I think we're all united in one sense that we're talking about the organization, right? We got that.
Right.
I think everybody understands that the organization is wrong, it's lying. Okay, everybody agrees on that, but where we don't agree are what your beliefs are now, right? Because some people have left and they still believe in God, they believe in Jesus now, others don't. And there's kind of a clash there because, um, and there's channels, where I watched lots of channels as well to kind of get different points of view and see what they're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
And I got a really bad taste left in my mouth from, for example, and I like these guys a lot. Don't anybody get me wrong, right? But I'm gonna mention who it is, okay? Because I like to be upfront. But when I saw, for example, Kim and Mikey, and just one example of many, and then there was this feud that went on and on and on with Lloyd Evans, and it was back and forth, and then it was getting to the point of litigation, and oh, you insulted me, you did this, oh, we're going after him, he's coming after us, to the point where there's now new lingo created to people who are following Lloyd, and okay, then everything that happened with Lloyd, okay, I mean, and it was just like, oh man, and if people, if anybody from the organization watches this, this is exactly what they want, right?
Exactly.
They want to see
Exactly.
us.
They're
They want to
sitting
see
back
the truth.
laughing.
They want to, yeah, they want to see us suing each other. They want to see it. Look at all this discord. Look at all this, and it's like, guys, just fucking let it go. Excuse my French, but just let it go, okay?
Right.
Leave
Exactly.
Lloyd alone and everybody else too. I mean, it's our platform. Unless you want to open up, I think really this is why I really don't. I've talked about it a little bit just to let people know what I believe personally. Okay, that I still have a belief in Jesus and all that, but my platform is not to talk about Jesus. Okay, that's not what my platform is for. And if I'm going to do that, or anybody else, I think that they should open a different channel and then go over there and do that there. And then the people that want to follow or listen to that will do it. And the ex-witness stuff is a whole nother thing, right? That's a whole other topic that you kind of have to focus on, right? Yes, rant, John. Yes, absolutely.
That's why I can't see any chat because I.
Yeah, I got the so. Yeah.
But
and it's on Jay too. I'm sorry to hear that, Jay, that you're not feeling well, Jay. That's okay. But if you want to join, hey, that's if you can or want to, or anybody else, like I said, I'm gonna put the I'm gonna get back here to where my but yes, that's absolutely a valid point. And I think it's something where those kind of things, also the ones that have really gotten into the political side of things, that's something that we have to be very careful with and kind of leave off of our channels. That would be also another topic, another channel, not with the Jehovah's Witness stuff, unless there's something applicable, with witnesses being involved with, with politics or something. But that's a very divisive topic, and unfortunately, I think
people can believe in government if they want. People can believe in government if they want, and that's on them, but it's, I agree with what you said. Take it to another area and talk about it there. But if you're going to be an XJW channel, then be that supportive channel. And and I hate to sound like an ass, and I don't want to sound insensitive because I'm totally not when it comes to the what subject. But everybody's talking about it, and sometimes it can be such a downer. It's like, okay, well, we know what. Okay, so we can't go to people who are doing the same thing, like government. Just for an example, it's sad, but it's like we can't let that stuff divide, because that's exactly what the organization does. We cannot be divided, but we're not going to all agree on everything, and that's cool. People got to realize that, hey, it's okay, it's cool not to agree. We'll agree to disagree. We're still going to be friends. We'll still, talk about stuff. But the XJW channel should be to help those coming out of the organization.
Right, and that's with that topic. That's been something where I've even had people talk to me on the side, and like, you need to get on this, with the CSA, right?
Yep. Yeah.
And we need to talk about that, and we need to go. You need to be crashing Kingdom Halls, and we need to go to Washington and protest, and you need to be doing this. And it's like, listen. I brought it up once in a while on certain topics. Okay. My personal belief is that the people that should really be championing this kind of stuff when it comes to the abuse are the people that were abused.
Exactly.
Okay.
Because nothing will change until they come forward.
Right. And they need to come forward. They need to talk about it. And I'm sorry, guys, but it needs to be the real deal. It needs to be the real deal, not just sensationalism, not just popularity or getting views or getting clicks. Okay, like that one gal that went to. I'm sorry, I never. Something just was off. Okay.
Yeah, I know. Yep, I know who you're talking. Yep.
You probably know who I'm talking about. I can't remember her name, but the gal that went out to Carolina and tried to find Toni Morris and all of that, and then she just disappeared. And it was like everyone was watching that, and she was getting all these views and all this stuff, but come on, guys, let's be objective about this. If you go and watch her videos, go to her channels that she had. I think they disappeared now. I don't know, but there's no coherence whatsoever in her videos. This person, I don't know if she's smoking, on drugs, what the deal is, but she's just all over the place. And so I was abused by this person and that person and this and that. And it's like, okay, well then do something about it. Get out there, do something about it. And then all of a sudden it was like, boom, poof, that disappeared. And then that happened, but that not just with her, it happened with other people as well, where they came out and there was this big, they're just the channels blowing up, and then And then we find out at the end of the day that these people weren't even witnesses, or they were lying about, being in Bethel or things like that. That's kind of where my distrust and dislike for AI channels, voices,
Oh
and
yeah,
all that.
AI
Selena,
is
yes, thank you, Jay.
crazy.
That's the one, Selena. So that's fine. Some people loved her, some people whatever. I'm not saying. I felt a little bit of distrust with, like, something wasn't adding up with what she was talking about. Okay, and stuff like that. So it's like, guys, this is not this topic of the Jehovah's Witnesses and us as ex-JW members. This is not something we do. This is not something for popularity. This is not something for making money, or getting clicks or getting likes or things like that. Okay, it's not just a hobby. This is not just a pastime. This is something
Right.
that the person has to be passionate about. And if that's the case, you're going to see them sticking with it, year after year after year, doing this, talking about it. Because, like you said, Jackie, the main goal here is what? To be a support,
Right.
to help people, right?
Yeah, and if they see
And
all the
and those who are
bickering
coming
going
out,
back and forth, and they see all the like, you got to
yeah,
take baby steps with these people, and if you just slam their head in the cement and be like, oh yeah, CSA and this and that,
right,
it's like, no, they're going to
right,
absolutely not respond to that.
exactly. And I'll tell you, all you guys here that are watching, I appreciate everyone that's in the chat tonight. Something else that I never liked, I never got on board with this, was, for example, back in the days with like Leah Remini and all these people, that all of a sudden, like, Leah Remini was, because she was like Scientology basically, but then she started figuring out that, because she's an opportunist. Come on, guys, be honest. She's an opportunist. And then she figured out that the XJW thing was really big too. And all of a sudden, she was going to be the voice for the ex-witnesses, right? Leah Remini was going to be the spokesperson to bring down Watchtower. And I was like, no. I was like, Leah, stay in your lane, okay? You were never a witness. If you were a Scientologist, then talk about Scientology. Okay, talk about that. Leave the Jehovah's Witness stuff to ex-witnesses. We were the ones that were there. We were the ones that grew up with it, that lived it. And the only voice that I want to hear, not somebody who is taking advantage of it to become a huge, to make money off of this and become popular and have TV shows and all this stuff. It's the same with the Mormons. There's ex-Mormon channels out there and things like that. They talk about Mormons. Great. If they want to do a crossover, come on the channel, okay, and talk about what our similarities are and that's fine. But I'm not going to talk about Mormons. Okay,
Right.
that's
And
not
there's so many channels out there that you have to be so selective because, again, there's also controlled opposition, there's also plants, there's also this and that. And I mean, there's so many different X channels that, I mean, I've unsubscribed from pretty much most of the ones I used to watch because it was like, oh, okay, yeah, you're gonna dog me for having a belief, or you're gonna talk
yeah,
smack about this, or you're gonna, put me down because, whatever.
right,
And it's just, it sucks because it's like, come on, man, we're here to help people, not watch
right,
you with your painted nails or watch you smoke a joint or watch you freaking all your little graphics that you can do. We don't give a shit. We want to
yeah,
hear the information that's going to help us progress
right,
out of that organization and be a productive person.
right. And that's the whole thing. The whole thing is how we can start over again, be productive people, shed that old, all the influence that Watchtower had on us. And you know what? I'm happy if somebody found another belief system. If someone became a Christian, if somebody is atheist now, and it's working for them, and they found a community and they felt great. And I think that's one of the things that people, let's, like witnesses. It's so hard to stop like that old personality we had, right? Judging people, looking down
Uh-huh.
on people. It's so hard to get rid of that
Yeah,
because that's
exactly.
what kind of carried us when we were witnesses, the gossip and the judging people and talking about people. And it's like, hey, just live and let live. Okay?
Exactly.
Have your own beliefs. If you believe something or don't believe something, great. But you know what? The next person, maybe that doesn't work for them.
Mm-hmm.
Or they found some other belief system, whatever. Great, good for them, right? And it's
Right.
good to
And
talk about it and ask them why. Why did that work for you? And then maybe that resonates with somebody else that's listening, right?
exactly.
So yeah, so like Jeff says here, yeah, absolutely. Let me put this up here. We have to decide which channels and people add value to our experience post JW. Absolutely.
Yeah,
And you know
exactly.
what?
Because we don't have all day. Nobody has all day to be listening to all these channels and stuff. It's like, come on, oh my God. I don't have like, 25 million hours a day to listen to every single thing. I mean, I got other things to do, like cook good food,
Right.
But it's like, let's get to the point. You don't need any bells and whistles. Just get to the point.
Exactly. That's exactly it too. Back up here again. Absolutely. And I think that's something that we can all agree on. And we should all try to work on that to a certain extent. I also saw, I've seen as of late, I think this has kind of always existed, but it's becoming more and more because, of course, with YouTube channels, most YouTube channels are monetized. So they're going to talk about topics that can possibly draw audiences to their channel and get them
Mm-hmm.
more money. So I've seen a lot of Christian pastors talking about Jehovah's Witnesses. I'm sure you guys have seen it as well. And I've seen these Christian channels, pastors, almost kind of ruin their channels because they just started all their videos have been about the ex-witnesses or witnesses, right? And how to talk to witnesses and how to preach to witnesses and again, it's like stay in your lane, guys, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because that's okay. I can see if a pastor or somebody brings it up, someone asks a question, maybe one or two videos, how you can do this, how you can, but some people like they take it and they run with it. And all of a sudden it's like, oh, I'm going to talk about the whole Jehovah's Witnessing now and what they believe and what and this and that. And it's just like, wow. Um, so let me see here. What happened to my noise? So yeah, Jackie, very, very interesting points.
I mean, if I was just coming out now, I'd be watching the channels, and like I literally just like I was just surfing YouTube and stuff, and I don't know how it happened, but like Stacy's channel, Spread in Paradise came up, and I'm like, what is that, And I just clicked on it, and that
Right.
was the first. He was the first X channel that I watched, and I've been with him ever since, and it's just it's to the point, you know what I mean? He adds humor to it. It's like you feel comfortable with it. You don't feel like, oh my God, if I don't like that person, or if I like that person, someone so and so's not going to like. It's just such drama that doesn't need to be.
Yes, it does. Yep. And that's definitely like we talked about with the any kind of division or arguments among us, or if you don't like somebody, that's something we have to be very careful with because um, that's one of the things that will turn people off right away. When
Right.
you have new people that are coming out of the organization, if they see the same things in this community, hello Belgium, hello, welcome. If they see that here, that could cause them to go back, right?
Right. Or worse,
Yeah, so Jeff's talking about, for example, the podcast Surviving Paradise. Yeah, that's with Stacy.
Yeah.
Excellent one. Very good. I think a lot of us, I watched that one. And same thing. I think also, in the case of Stacy, one of the things that I've always liked about him a lot is that he's very careful
Mm-hmm.
to let people know that this is not to offend you. It's not to upset anybody. I'm just giving my point of view and I'm analyzing things and, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and there's always an air of respect, right?
Right.
About
Right.
what he's talking about. And it's kind of comedic, and it's he has a very particular way of going about it, and he's very, very, very good.
Yeah. And everybody's different. So one channel might resonate with one person, another channel might resonate with another. And that's one thing, like when I found your channel, I appreciated the fact that you were just raw. You were raw, you were real, you just said what you thought, your views, and it was like, I like this dude because, I may not agree with that or with that, but he's real. And that's what counts.
Right. Exactly. I appreciate that. Yeah, and I think that's what we need a little bit more of, in my estimation.
Yep.
I think we need a little bit more, little bit less entertainment and editing and all of that, and a little bit more rawness.
Yep. And
And
there's
just
so many more things out in life to be had. It's like, go out and there's nothing better than going outside and putting your, bare feet in wet grass. I mean, that is just like, oh my God, yeah. Simple things in life are just so amazing. And the
yeah,
simplicity in life, I think, is missed because the drama and the complications are like a drug to a lot of people.
yes, absolutely. And I saw, yeah, a lot of people commenting here. I'm trying to keep up with. Oh yeah, it was Butterfly Queen mentioned that she had struggled with depression and things like that. And you know what? I can tell you guys from personal experience, I have struggled and still struggle with it. As you all well know, some of the difficulties that I went through very recently. If you want to have, in addition to all the other things out there, treatments and therapy and all that, one of the best ways to deal with depression, get outside, do some gardening.
Oh, yeah.
Go out there, have plants, have, you know, something that it's something you're taking care of, something that you're seeing growing, right? And gives you a sense of accomplishment to
And
see something.
plants
Yes,
react to humans and our
yes,
frequencies, and it's amazing when you really get down to what the life of a plant is. I mean, it's mind-blowing. It's
yes,
just so amazing. It's awesome.
right. And it's amazing how, I have here. This is a little story I'll share with you guys. Um, so when I was kind of going through my difficulties here with depression and everything, and I have this big cactus that um, this teacher gave to me. There was a couple here from Mexico, and they were here for a year. They taught for a school year, and then they left for another country. And so when they left, they had all these plants, and so they wanted me to have this cactus, and it's a cactus that uh, has a flower that comes out just during a certain time, right? And it only flowers one time. And so I got that home, and we put it in another pot and got it some new dirt, and you know and I was talking to it, and because she was telling me, because they're very like spiritualistic, so they believe a lot in like the native, like Mexican people, and their like the indigenous people and their beliefs, and their about nature, and very similar to the Native Americans in the United States. And she was like, because we were good friends, and I was telling her kind of some of the things I was going through, and she was like, talk to the cactus. And I'm like, what?
Yep, exactly.
She's like, yeah. She's like, talk to it. And I'm like, okay. And so I was like, all right, I'll try it. And I'll kid you not, guys. So I was like telling the cactus, I was like, I appreciate that you're here. And I hope that you'll let us be your new home. And we want to take care of you. And like literally, like the cactus was starting to move. It was like shaking. And I'm just like,
Hmm.
oh my God. It like responded, right? And I told her about it. I was like, you won't believe this cactus like started moving. And she's like, oh, she knows what's going on. She understands you. And it
Exactly.
started, yeah, and it started to grow the flower, and then it bloomed, but it bloomed like for a whole week, which was unbelievable. She was just like, I can't believe that. It's only supposed to bloom one time. It opens up once at night, and you kind of have to catch it. It's just kind of luck. I mean, if you get to see it or not, because we would get up at night, like at the middle of the night, 2, 3 in the morning. We'd go outside, not it was still closed, and then one night it finally opened, and we caught it. We were able to take pictures, and then it happened several times after that, which was just really amazing because usually only happens once. So it's kind of like the cactus almost told us like, "Hey, I'm going to let you see this a couple times. I want you to see this." Right?
Mm-hmm.
It was just amazing. It was amazing. But you're absolutely right. Plants do, um, they're living things,
Yeah, and
and
like
they
if
do.
you like people have they're like, oh, my plant died, or these ones are just going bad. It's like, no, 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 give them to me. you know, Let me take care of those babies. Because it's all in the nurturing. If something can seem dead, and it's the same with people. If you just apply that template to people, it's the same thing. You know.
Yes, yes, yeah. It's amazing what you can do with plants, and they'll come back to life as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, Jay says here, um, I miss my vegetable garden, but I can't have one. I live in a HOA, a homeowners association. Bummer. Yeah, Jeff says I
Ooh.
keep my sourdough starter like that. Oh. So do you talk to your sourdough, Jeff?
Wait. You said sourdough starter? Hold on now. My brain's going to a whole nother realm.
Yeah, yeah, that's Jeff. Jeff's a cook, or a chef.
Dang, right?
Excuse me. He's a baker.
Yep. The
He's a
sourdough
baker.
is what
So.
I need to learn. That's the one thing I'm doing all kinds of different stuff, but I'm like, sourdough, I got to master that, but I haven't yet.
Yeah. Okay, John. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it. John says got to get back to my 100-year-old mom. So
Mm,
absolutely appreciate that.
yeah. He's drawing good vibes, man. Good vibes.
Mhm. Yeah, and John is a good friend too. He's always been here. Yeah. So again, anybody else that wants to join us, there's the link. You can join us there. Remember that we have the super chats and all that. If you want your comment to be highlighted, that option is also there as well. So, but you can come in and talk about anything you want as well, and feel free to do that. And yeah, so yeah, it's just that, there, like you said, that's absolutely it. There's so many things going on in life, and there's so many options out there, and things that you can try, and things that you can do. Once we're out of the witnesses, and you get that stigma off of your back, and all those, that you can't do this, and you can't. Now you're free, right? And there's so many things you can do now. Right now that at the school that I work at, since this year, they put me in. They wanted me to take the art class. So I'm teaching art and I'm teaching music as well. And it's just now I'm kind of with the students. I'm learning with them as well about art. About different drawing techniques and painting techniques and colors, and this is all. It's another learning experience for me
Mm-hmm.
to,
And the
to
thing
learn
is,
those
now
things.
that, yeah, I mean, you remember back in the day, we had what, 3 meetings a week, which were 5 meetings basically.
Yes.
And it was what we had: Tuesday book study, Thursday Theocratic school and whatever, and then Sunday talk
Yeah.
and watchtower study and all that. And it was like, okay, then we had to study for it, and then we had to go out and service, and then we had to do this. So without those pressures that of a belief system that is not going to happen, without those pressures, life is so beautiful, man. And it's not perfect. Yeah, we're gonna have it. Life is life, right? There's problems in it, there's good things in it, and there's just no avoiding that. But if we can just focus on those things, wow, I want to try to learn that, or I want to try to do this, or wow, I always wanted to do that. Live. We don't have a whole lot of time in our lives in this day and age to actually live and just taste the good things.
That's right. Yep.
So
And
it's
I
a
think
taste of go out and live, man.
get out and
Wow.
live.
Go out in the forest, go
Yeah.
camping, do what you want to do to make you happy and make you feel good.
Right. And you know what? One of the things that really, really caught my attention was when there was a very recent study article, and for me, this to me was kind of in a subtle way. This was a confession that the governing body made that basically this whole thing is a sham, right?
Mm-hmm.
This whole thing is a farce. When they said that, we have to face the possibility, they were like, face the facts here, face the possibility that the end is not coming in your lifetime. And so
Yep.
when they said that, in the study article, which they'd never said before, you know, that just kind of drove it home for me. That was like the last nail in the coffin that, listen, this is not, this life is what we have. This is it.
Mhm.
You know, this is all we've got. And this whole idea of even when you're next witness, a lot of people, when you're next witness, but there's still in the back of your head, but what if though? What if? What if the end comes? And it's like, now just, you know what? Get that out of your head. It's not coming.
Yeah.
Okay? And it never was. It's all something that was made up. Okay? Or whether it is coming, if you still believe in the Bible, you know, it says nobody knows the hour anyway. So why even worry about it? Why
Right.
even think about it?
And with JWs now, what do they say that oh, it
Right.
doesn't matter, you can come in right at the end, you know.
Right.
I mean,
Right. So we're
it's total psychological abuse. It's narcissistic abuse. It's MK Ultra abuse. I mean, but I think once you're out and you're out for a little bit, then you can really look at it, you know, look at it as a whole and go, oh my God, I never saw that before. Like I read scriptures now, not because I'm a biblical person, but I just interested in the topic. I read scriptures now. I'm like, oh my God, I never seen that before. Why did I never remember that scripture? How come I didn't see that before? You know,
exactly.
we can see it and read it, but we're still blind to it because our mind won't allow our eyes to see what it is.
Absolutely. That's what it is. Yeah, Jay says, I thought the end came in 1975.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we all saw how that went down, right?
Although 1975 is a good joke though, with you know, certain people. It's like, oh yeah, oh I see you're gonna live like it's 1975, huh?
Yep.
So you just gotta take it and you know, turn it
Right.
into something you can laugh at or something you can be like, oh my gosh. And a lot of people are so afraid to admit that they were gullible, they fell for it. It's like, hey man, we've all fallen for a lot of stuff. It's really no big deal, you know. Just
Yep.
come on out and we're here to support you and hug you, and if we can walk you through it, we will. And you know, just we've all been gullible to stuff in and out. So
That's right. Yep. And that's okay. That's all a part of, you
yep.
know, for each one of us. That's a part of our life. That's something we went through. Thank goodness we came out of that. Now we have that experience to draw on
Mm-hmm.
in life, and is going to help us to not fall into other, you know, other cults and other scams and things like that. It makes us a little bit more cautious.
Yep. And
So,
and,
I
and it will
mean,
also, yeah, go ahead.
it's all good, right? We learn something from it, you know. Like the saying goes, you either win or you learn, right?
Yeah, and learning is
So,
so great because we can learn from each other. We can
yes,
learn from the environment. We can learn just by sitting down and looking at grass. I mean, we can learn stuff. You know what I mean? It's just all that
right.
you're open to. It's just the world is a beautiful thing, and I hope more people go out and enjoy it. And it's the simple stuff. Go out and enjoy the simple stuff and smile and laugh.
Yeah, absolutely. That's it too. And really, very important thing is having a sense of humor, right?
Oh yeah,
Very
and
important.
being
You know,
able to
laugh
take
about stuff.
yeah, sorry, being
Yeah,
able to take others' sense of humor too. It's like some people can dish it out, but they can't take it. It's like, you know, I tell people, look, I can take it. I could take it, dish it out. Because if I'm going to dish it out, I got to be able to take it too. You know, so
that's
let's
right.
laugh, let's
Yep,
have a good time and enjoy the time we have here,
absolutely. That is for
and get
sure.
and get a kitten. They're so cute.
Yes, for sure. And Jeff, I'm going to call you out. What about you? You going to come in here and say hi to us before I sign off for the night? Got to stop in too. You're a regular here on the program, so you're not going to escape.
Jeff needs a cooking show, man. I want to see his cooking because I do
Yeah,
stuff too, and I'm like, man, I love watching other people how other people do things. It's like, ooh, I never
absolutely.
thought about that.
That is for sure. That would be you know, those kind of shows on YouTube usually do very well. You know,
Yeah,
especially when it's
so
from someone that he knows his stuff and what he's talking about, and
so
that's
we want to see that channel, Jeff. Just create that
yep.
cooking channel, link us up.
All right, let's get Jeff in here. Here we
Hey,
go. Hey Jeff, how are you doing?
I'm fine. I was fine until you called me out.
Uh, sorry for putting you on the spot there.
That's fine.
So what's new in Jeff's world?
Um, what's new in Jeff's world? Jeff is trying to move to Japan in the next 2 years.
Big,
So
big deal, huh? That's a big
it,
deal.
it may not happen, but it's something I want to shoot for.
That's
Right.
awesome.
So correct me if I'm wrong,
Yeah.
but you have a trip coming up again, right?
Yeah, so I'll be going back again at the end of the year.
Okay. So is that
Yeah.
like is this part of the plan? You're kind of feeling out how things are there, or
So this trip, I want to go to the region that I'm kind of focused on moving to, seeing who I can meet and just kind of getting a sense for the area. And then there's friends that I have in another part that I want to see as well. So it's just kind
Okay.
of getting a feel. Airfare right now, believe it or not, is incredibly accessible.
wow.
And I had flight credits, so I figured why not?
Nice.
Right. That's great. Yeah, those are that's definitely one of those decisions in life that, it takes a lot of thought, because that's a
I mean,
huge thing,
Yeah, and traveling is great because you really get to see the actual way people live, how they are, how they treat. You get to see it for yourself instead of just hearing it on media or hearsay. It's like, yeah, I love traveling. It's just the
Yeah,
best.
and what's interesting for me is like part of my waking up story in hindsight, I didn't realize it, is like all the road trips that I took. Because you figure when you're in, they want you to stay busy so you don't have time to think on your own. And when you're driving 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 miles, that gives you a lot of time to think. It gives you a lot of time to see things and experience people. So now it's like I kind of saw everything I'm going to see in the U.S. Now I want to go to a different hemisphere.
Right.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Good vibes going your way. You're gonna do it.
Yeah, but it's just interesting because I guess I mean I don't know if I'd be inclined to try to like pick up and leave if I were still in, but it's like now that I'm like away and done with it, it's one less thing I have to think about if I want to expand.
Now, do you speak any of Japanese or anything, or?
Barely. I've been taking lessons and it has not been going well. It's been going really bad.
Well, don't watch The Grudge.
I'm comfortable with the culture, but the language it's not there yet. But no, it's just it's because I was thinking about it. Like if you're like a full-in witness, you're still thinking about what congregation you're going to go to. Oh, how are you still going to stay close to the organization? Like that ends up being a burden.
Yeah.
You're saddled with it. Now I can go anywhere I want. I don't have to think about, oh, geez, am I going to be able to how far away is the Kingdom Hall?
Oh my God!
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
Exactly.
I mean, it sounds like a small thing, but it's a big thing.
I mean, when people get married, it's like, oh, are you going to go on a honeymoon? What Kingdom Hall are you going to be go visiting? It's like, what?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. So in your experience that you've had now, Jeff, when you've gone to Japan, as opposed to what you see on the like social media and movies and things like that, was it a lot different when you're actually there?
Yeah, because the story that kind of introduced me to it is that I had friends there. I worked in a job where I was like the only American in a Japanese bakery, so I had a little bit of exposure, and kind of learned some things through that. So when I got there, I kind of knew what to expect. But I mean, I'm sure you would understand when before you moved to Honduras, you can be around, like we'll say in that case, like if you were in a Spanish congregation or whatever, and there's certain cultural things, But when you're like fully surrounded, you're like, oh my goodness, it's
Yeah.
everywhere.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. It's
So it's kind
everybody.
of like that.
Yep.
One of the things I will say about my journey, and I won't necessarily go into my beliefs, but just one thing I found interesting is one of the things that appeals to me is Japan is not a Christian society. Like Christianity does not exist there. And it's for me, it's not about whether or not I believe in it or how much I believe or what part of it. It has nothing to do with it. It's to me because like we'll say the entire Western Hemisphere is we'll say like a Christian society. So that's what you're around. You're going to see a lot of things through that lens. So to me, I like the idea of going to a place where that idea is removed. It's just not there. So if I do want to think about Christianity, it's like, well, I have the space to think about it from a different perspective.
Sure.
Mhm.
So
Right.
I like the idea of that. There's actually a new coworker I have from Singapore, and I was having that conversation with her as well, where it's like, you know, as far as developing your own belief system or letting it develop or really, you know, getting a foundation of what you have. You know, if you grow up as a witness, you're going to see things just so one dimensional. But it's nice to give yourself an opportunity to see things from different dimensions or different angles. Like you could come back around and still, hey, you know what? I believed this the whole time. This is why I believed it. Oh, you know what? I've discovered evidence in my own journey as to why I still think this is true. Or maybe if there's something you always question or didn't believe, you can come back around and be convinced otherwise, or you can be convinced that it's not.
Yeah, exactly.
There's just a freedom, and everybody's journey is different. You know, for me, being a witness and going to meetings and all this other stuff, most of my friends were actually Asian. Like I have a very close friend from Thailand. There's people I know from all other parts throughout Asia. So that looking back like that, that kind of influenced the lens through which I saw the world. But you know what, Colin, like your experience, your journey is completely different. Jack, yours is completely different.
Yes.
But like, how nice is that? How nice is that?
Exactly.
Right.
We can all come together and share and, you know, live through each other and just be kind. And it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah. And one of the things that I learned is like, say there's somebody talking about Catholicism or whatever. And to me, it's like, you know what? They might tell me certain things or, you know, things I might not necessarily believe or agree with. But at the same time, I can still see value in what they say.
Right.
And that's one of the things I like being out. It's like, you know what? Even if somebody's like Muslim, you know what? I may not buy into everything they say, but you made this point. I see value in it. I may not agree with it, but there's value in it. There was no room for that. If you're a witness, there's no room for that.
Right.
Their way or the highway.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So you agree with me or nothing?
So it's nice that we all have our journey.
Yeah, and the journeys are fascinating too, because I mean, it's just nice to see other people doing what they want to do and being happy and smiling and like, hey, how was that? How was it cool? Did you have a good time? You know, it's such a positive thing.
Yeah, that's for sure. And I can tell you, Jeff, also from personal experience. Don't sweat it too much about the language, because once
I'm not.
you're there, if you decide to make that move and you move there and everything, and you're absorbed in it, and especially when you make that move and you realize, like, hey, this is my home now. This is where I'm living. This is where I'm going to be, maybe for the rest of my life. Your brain just kind of falls into order, right?
Yeah.
Like it gets in line. Like, I need to learn this language. When you don't have that commodity of falling back on English all the time, kind of just out of necessity and being surrounded by people speaking it all the time. It'll come.
Yeah. I'm not bothered by it. It's, I did have foreign language experience. I had like
Yeah.
1.5 foreign languages. So,
Right.
I know what works for me and what doesn't. And I understand, like I say, Colin, I'm sure you had the Spanish headaches when you were learning. I had the French headaches when I was learning. It's like, yeah, I'm going to get a Japanese. It's just, I'm not afraid to realize that it's going to be like, it's not English.
Yeah. It's difficulties and challenges and
Yeah.
all of that. It comes with time. Yeah. Absolutely.
Just cook good food while you're there.
Well, I want to go there as a baker. I want to bake when I go there.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Send
Yeah,
us
that's
some
great.
recipe.
And then, Colin, I see your daughter's on TV.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
She's been pretty busy as of late. So she got involved in this group where she lives, and it's kind of like a group of artists, and they all get together and they kind of do different activities together, and they get hired to go to different places. And so they were on this news program here that's one of the biggest ones here in the country. So they got to perform on there. And then this weekend they had another one where they were at this festival and they were performing there and singing. And so she's doing well. She's
okay. And then showcasing her art too.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm glad to see her being able to do that freely, and so it seems like the family's kind of falling in line now, and I think maybe some of the more recent decisions in the organization have something to do with that. So, which is good. I'm glad to see them kind of in the end kind of lightening up a little bit, and so that's a good thing. So they're moving in the right direction, slowly but surely.
Yeah. The one thing I will not rant, but it's kind of like I thought about with the whole education thing.
Yep.
So I remember when with the beard announcement, I would go back and see some friends that I grew up with, and like these grown men were almost crying because they're now allowed to wear beards, right? So, us being out, we're like our minds are completely blown because it's completely backwards from what we would think. Like,
right.
Some people are going to have problems with it, but then others just like soak it right up.
Mm-hmm.
So I have to wonder how it's going to be like with the education thing, how people are going to be like, oh, this is such a blessing from Jehovah that I can go to college now or whatever. And that's just, oh my goodness. I'm worried how I'm going to take it when I start seeing that, because I know I'm going to start seeing that.
Yep.
That might be hard to see because, those of us who woke up and see the organization for what it is, at least to me, it's still weird to see people hold on so tight when things change. It's like the more they change, the harder they hold on.
Yeah, and can you imagine back in the day, if they made this amount of changes in such a short time? I mean, everybody would have been like, "What?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It seems like now that they kind of gotten on a roll now.
Yeah, they're conditioning people to get used to changes, so that now they expect this whole psychology that they're just, oh my God, I feel so bad for those who are, still adhering to this.
But I think I heard it somewhere else, and I thought too, it's like that. This is when you see things like this, it separates the people that are like really hardcore in it for everything.
Yeah.
Versus those who are kind of seeing, okay, this isn't right.
Yeah. Jeff, do you think that they're going to get pushback on this a little bit?
I don't know. I really don't know, because it's like the beard thing. Like, it's just the same thing. The brothers were like, "Oh man, we get to grow a beard. Isn't this great? This is wonderful. Jehovah bless me with this permission." Like it's the complete opposite of what you thought it would be. At least from what I saw, there were plenty of people that had that response.
Yeah.
So I mean, can you imagine somebody like my age, mid-40s, gave up everything, and then suddenly they're allowed to go to college? I could see plenty of them being, oh wow, this is such a blessing. It's late in life, but yeah, I can actually get a career now.
Yeah. What about
Possible.
the
Yeah.
next decade up? We're screwed.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. It's hard to say. Yeah, hard to say how people will react to it. I could see in some places, you know, I think this will happen on always. Right. There might be some elders that kind of get let go or maybe readjusted a little bit because they're not really having it, you know, with some of these changes. Kind of like Tony and some other people like that. Like there's some hardcore, you know, people that might kind of start murmuring a little bit and start, yeah, why are they doing this and that? And they might have to, you know, make some adjustments to the body of elders. But it's hard to say. Like I remember, like when I was on the past weekend on JT and Lady C's channel. JT was talking about a friend of his told him that that there was a guy in the congregation that was they were having, it's still going on, but they were having a judicial committee about going to college with this guy when this announcement came out, because the elders hadn't gotten the announcement yet. They hadn't watched it. Right? It's like, can you imagine now having to hit the brakes and then go back and like, oh, well, you know, actually, brother, let's just let it go. You're good.
Yeah.
But all of a sudden, just like, you know, we don't have to continue. We're done.
But the crazy thing is, like, remember back when they said that, like, if you're clean shaven and you're wearing your, you know, dresses and suits, that you stand out from the world, quote unquote. So we got to be different. And now they've just, well, you know, changed.
Yep.
Yeah. So
absolutely.
The other thing to me this reinforces, and I've been thinking about it more the last couple of months, is just you don't realize how much control is in that organization. There's it's ridiculous. Like, oh, you can't buy lottery tickets.
Yep.
Oh, you know, you can't go to the casino, like smoking. You can't. There's a laundry list of things that you just kind of can't do.
Yep.
Like think about, like, you can't say bless you. You know, you can't do this. You can't do that. You know, it's looking back. Like even if I go through my everyday life, I've been thinking, like I said, the last couple of months. It's like, man, all these things that there was a rule for.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, you know, this is a big one, and it's like, I mean, are they trying to uncult themselves? Are they?
Yeah.
It's like, are they trying to get to the point where it's mainstream and it's like everything's loose, and they're really just such a relaxing of rules in general?
Yeah.
Well, they need their money for their, you know, real estate investments.
Yeah. Just want to say hi here to David Wicklund. Thanks for being here, Dave. I appreciate it.
Hi, David.
So he said he's 53. Remembers back in '94 after baptism how they dissuaded him from computer programming and network school classes because I was missing meetings, he says, and then they fear-mongered me with threats and things like that. So yeah, so there you go. There's a real life, and I'm sure, Dave, in your life, that's something that has affected your life real time, right? That's something that is greetings from Central Wisconsin. So thanks for being here, Dave. I really appreciate it. Glad you're here.
You couldn't even be sick without, like, oh, did you study? Did you this? It's like, man, I can't even be sick, you know?
Yeah, it's like, now I can get a box of Lucky Charms.
Yeah, finally.
And they're good too, man. I swear, that's the one.
We can eat cereal. Yes. Yeah, it's just amazing, isn't it? And
it's funny because different people who, if you're born into it, as opposed to those who came into it later. Because I came in when I was like, I think 21-ish, early 20s. So I had the life of quote unquote worldly person. But so it was, I don't know if it's just my thoughts, but I think it was easier for me to walk when I walked.
Yeah.
Because at that point I'd been through so much, it was just like, all right, later, I'm done.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think for with those of us who were born in, there's that little extra element of,
Yes.
that's what we were our brains were wired with that from day one,
Yeah,
since we
now
were,
I feel bad for that, because it's like, oh my gosh,
yeah,
born-ins don't
exactly.
know, they don't know anything different when they, I mean, it's yeah.
Yeah,
But then
but
again, yeah, go ahead, Jeff.
no, to me, it's fascinating the people that came in as adults and like have stuck with it through all these changes.
I know what as I think back, I'm like, what was I thinking? I actually chose this. What's my excuse?
Yeah, absolutely. But you know what? I think it says a lot to any of us, born-ins, or if you were converted or whatever it is. But I think it speaks a lot to all of us, because it takes a certain type of person, because not everybody wakes up. And we were
Right.
still able to, after all of that, all the brainwashing, all of the conditioning, in the end, our power of critical thinking and analysis and truth seeking still won out in the end.
Yeah.
It still led us eventually to asking questions, to questioning things, and led us out of the organization. So I think there's a lot to be said about that. That it takes a certain type of mindset and personality. There's a personality type, because there's another personality type that allows people to just, even if it's all a lie, I'll still follow Jehovah. That's a personality type that allows people to do that.
Right.
Even when they're faced with facts right in their face and they don't change.
Right.
So,
Cognitive dissonance.
yep.
But the great thing is that there's so many people that, how would any of all of us have even, like, not physically met necessarily, but met each other online if it wasn't for leaving? I mean, there's so many good people like you guys out there. It's just, that's the thing that just makes me so happy. It's like, yeah, right on. You just want to root for everybody. It's like, yeah, you did it, right on. Let's go. Everybody. There's so many kind, honest, genuine, real people.
Absolutely. Yeah, and like we were talking about earlier, that's why it's so important to have an open, accepting community that is here, kind of like a safety net to catch people, to help them along in their journey, not to discourage them, not to have them come out and then find more division and things like that. So, and there's my wife saying hi. Hola,
Hey,
amor.
how are you doing?
Hey, Patty, está diciendo hola.
We love you, Patty. You're awesome.
La amamos, dicen. She says thank you. So yeah, so definitely those things. She says thank you as well. Thank you guys. So yeah, and speaking of that, I'm getting the side eyes here, so I gotta wrap things up here. And it's a work night. Got back to work and got things to get prepared here, and up early tomorrow. But I want to thank you guys, Jackie. Thank you so much for coming on. And again, I'm so happy to actually talk to you. Hear your voice, and that's so great. And Jeff as well. Thank you for coming on and giving your points of view as always. And so right now we'll just we'll see what the next week has planned for us, and see what pops up, because now what I'm kind of got in my sights right now, what I'm looking forward to is October. That's the annual meeting, and what's going to come up at this one? What new things are they going to throw at us? Who knows? Because now, since these changes started happening a couple of years ago, now we kind of know that in any update that comes along or any annual meeting, there's potentially a big change coming up. Something could be coming up, so it'll be interesting to watch out for that here pretty soon. So I want to thank everybody in the chat for being here with us tonight and listening and giving your comments, and stay tuned, and we'll have more coming up in the future.
Thank you too. I appreciate you.
So have a good night, everybody.
Definitely appreciate
All right.
everybody.
See you. All right,
Okay.
nice hearing you, Jackie.